Hello. Nah. Okay, I think that works. I have not done. I am so far behind. I ended up with a little bit of burnout and then suddenly a lot of work. So it's been a little while. I need to. Ah. Hello, Les. Pop out the chat. Yeah, that should be good. Yeah. Yeah, you're on. So I think I just gotta wait for Discord to update and then everything should be fine. I'm just gonna turn the music down on my headset a little bit because it is a little bit high. Overture Sentinel. A piece inspired by the call signals of the Imperial Gendarmerie during the night patrols. The drum beat is steady and resolute, just like the sentry's unshakable march. Why is that still loud in my headset? I hope that's not too loud in the stream. It doesn't look like it is. But yeah. I'm just gonna go with what I've got at the moment. Are you here? Once upon a time, there was a child who was imprisoned in an old tower. The script of his life had been written from the moment of his birth. Like an opera, every aria, every scene was meticulously planned, and all he could do was follow it. One day, the child realised that he was part of the show. Now, this is either talking about Ebenholz, or it's talking about the Truman Show. It was all a masquerade. Love, hate, resentment, everything around him was fake. Confused, frightened, and angry, he called the score fate, and tried to resist it. At one point, he even thought he had succeeded in escaping from the stage. But he forgot that freedom granted by another can never be true freedom. When the threads of fate tightened again, there was nowhere for him to go except back on stage. But this time, he chose to fight. The show would go on, he would struggle for the benefit of the audience in the seats. Still, he thought he could at least glare back at them and scorn the fate they had imposed upon him. But he often wonders, if he was still in the play, how can he tell where the stage ends and the audience begins? And if all of us are part of a play, like he is, how would we know when it truly ends? Hello, Red. You just hit us with the all the world's a stage thing. Oh, poor kids, will he get out? Will he become a hero and defeat the bad guy? A hero. Sadly, not everyone can be a hero. Given enough time, some heroes stop being heroes, or even become villains. Yes, we've all seen The Dark Knight. That's not the kind of story I want to hear. Alright. Let's start from even earlier in the story then. That way, we won't get to the ending you don't want to hear today. That's actually kind of powerful. 9, hurry it up already. You guys like playing at Forest Park, don't you? Did you know that this wasn't actually built to commemorate the heroes who died resisting the Witch King? Gustav Park was built to commemorate the deeds of a great ruler. And in his story, he was a hero too. Well, we know the person who keeps spreading all of that then. Oh, so that's how it is. If it isn't my old friends. I knew it didn't make any sense for their majesties to go through the trouble of bringing me back and sparing my life for a few days only to send assassins. Ah, yes. Mysterious leather-clad assassins with red armbands. You are the key to the plan, Graf Utica. Yes, we've all heard this one before. Have you learned nothing from what happened with Gertrude? All that effort and not even the ruins of a concert hall to show for it. What do you want from me this time? To blow up the park above us? Grafin Stroller's failure was born of ignorance. She and the original experimenters were nothing but useless rabble. Hello, Scarf. Eben is so done with it all. You can tell when a character's done with it when they start coming up with witty remarks about everything. Compared to his slightly more serious tone in the previous event. They knew His Majesty's melody, but not how to play it properly, and foolishly sought to use it as a weapon to spread the calamity of Originium. Such uncouth violence is an affront to art. Even if he had awakened from it, he would have sentenced them to death for the blasphemy. Of course. So you're saying that Gertrude was a fraud, but you're the real deal? Then what? You need me to appeal to their majesties to bestow you a medal proving your commitment to the arts? We seek only your understanding. You are His Majesty's heir, the symbol of his glory, the manifestation of his flesh and blood, and the continuation of his melody. We believe that you will bring glory back to Utica and to Leithanien. And do it. Take back his glory, his flesh and blood, his melody. I wonder though, without those, what would be left of the individual known as Ebenholz? You were too early. I did change it, to be fair, but then I forgot they don't update unless you refresh, so I probably should have said it in chat. Sorry. Perhaps it is your infection, or perhaps the result of Rhode Island's training. You've certainly become stronger. And yet, you show not even a sliver of His Majesty's strength. Damn, the Death Eaters are all here now. I must go. Ha! No you ain't. Freeze! What are you doing here? Take another step and I'll have you arrested. But I haven't... You haven't formally joined those lunatics yet? Good for you. They're no lunatics. Maybe you see His Majesty's reign as one of terror, but all he did was punish the nobles who stood in the way of progress. Why am I not allowed to miss him? Why can't I long for a Leithanien where someone like me could become somebody? Because I know that era better than you do. Listen, younger, I come here. When I first came to Leithanien, I accidentally stepped on a poster on the ground. Every other person on the street was probably a spy. I was a trader from Laterano at the time, and they planned to execute me as a subversive foreign element. You could have contacted the Editorial Hall or the 7th Tribunal. I doubt they would have done that. Certainly, Reverend Executor. Just like you could have broken into the most heavily guarded arts jail on your own and rescued me. But like most Sancta, your wings are ornamental, not functional. Yep, that makes sense. Leithanien is more than a stone's throw from Laterano, Not even you could have helped a Liberi who was scheduled to be executed the very next day. But you survived and became Leithanien. Because someone saved my life. A limping old Liberi, a soldier who'd killed a few Gauls in his time. He later joined the Gendarmerie, essentially the Witch King's secret police at the time. He took pity on me and got me out. I'm told the executioner got a fancy new cigarette case for his trouble. Only a few days later, the Witch King executed another batch of dissidents right here in this park. And when I looked up from the crowd, can you guess whose face I saw among the twisted statues? Are you scared? You should be. Go home, Younger, and don't ever get involved in these things again. So secret police becoming just a normal police, interesting. That's basically what happened in Spain. The Guardia Civil used to be Franco's secret army, and now they're well, essentially traffic cops. That's more than that. They do the drug busts and the border stuff. But you mostly see them on the traffic nowadays. Are you doing story and the level at the same time? Yeah, I was going to, but I didn't have the chance to play Arknights most of this week, so I haven't gone around to it. I plan on doing that for the next few streams. We should go too, Reverend Executor. You've also detected the use of arts. Someone is fighting. I'll let the Empress's voice know. Let them worry about it. We will miss our chance to apprehend the criminal. When will you understand? I don't want that chance. If I strolled into that park, I'd find a group of masked people calling themselves the echoes of Hexenkonig. And their majesties would certainly expect me to draw my weapon and arrest or kill them. But do you know whose faces I'd see when I remove their masks? Perhaps the heir of a Graf, or the scion of a Kurfürst. As for me, if I'm lucky enough to survive, I'd be sent straight back to jail. This battle in the park? It'd go down as nothing more than a little brawl over some private grudge. Just like Jan's sister, Julia. I tried to catch the last bastard to see her, but couldn't touch a hair on his head because his father's title, his family, and the Kaiserin's invitation. Yeah, I keep forgetting that bit. An enforcer of the law should act only in accordance with the law, not his own interests. Since when has the law cared about a man's life or death? The law allows you to leave a last will and testament. If you are killed in battle, I will see it executed to the letter. You have one twisted sense of humour. To that faith. But that reminds me, when I joined the uprising against the Witch King and attacked the Spire, I truly believed that I'd leave something behind, even in death. But look at me now, an alcoholic who spends his days taking bribes and bowing to high nobles. You're absolutely right, I'm not fit to enforce the law. I bet the old man who saved me is rolling in his grave. The events of the past should not cloud your judgment of the present. You could not save that girl named Julia, but you saved her brother. Let's not get ahead of ourselves here. He only ran off. He'll probably join in the end. And you have the chance to save someone else. I envy you, Reverend Executor. Back when I left Laterano, I thought the Sancta were hard to understand, but now I realise there's no one simpler. But are the laws of Laterano always correct? I have in fact encountered a case like the one you mentioned. What? The case I'm pursuing right now, it is very special to me. Her actions have seriously threatened the Order of Laterano, The outcome is clearly wrong, yet she has continued to escape the law's judgment. Do you ever feel doubt then? Disappointment? In my experience, disappointment is born from having previously held strong positive feelings towards something, which you never had. You're different from the other Sancta I know. You've never loved Laterano, have you? I do not believe in such sentiments to be necessary to perform my duties. Maybe you're right. Or maybe, when you're finally forced to doubt yourself and find yourself wavering, lost like me, you'll realise that you need a strength, a reason. And that's when you'll discover that the law offers no guidance. I hear a cello. The target is just up ahead. If you refuse to follow, I will proceed to the suspect's location and complete the mission myself. Go. I would prefer to have the corporation of the gendarmerie. Not my problem. I need to head back and hand over my resignation to the city council. Don't worry, I'll pass the documents you gave me along to my successor before I leave Zwillingstürme. I do not believe that the former hero is dead, Loris Borden. Oh? After all, you're standing right in front of me. Accurately determining a person's life or death is part of my job. Seriously? Cello is much larger. You basically have it sitting on the floor while you play it. It's kind of like the double bass. And cello also has lower notes. Again, sort of similar to the bass as compared to a guitar. So the cello has a lot lower droning notes compared to the violin, which often has a lot higher pitched notes. The target isn't here. This cello tune. You see the sculptures spraying water. Their arts have been modified to reproduce her performance. Huh. Give help, cocked gun. Why are you pointing that at me, Sancta? Have you lost your mind? Marigold Alley, Forest Park. You have been at the same scene of every incident. Your behaviour is abnormal for a Leithanien of your age. The evidence proves plenty of a reason to suspect you. And that's why you're pointing a gun at me? Did it ever occur to you that I could be on your side? When dealing with someone attempting to hide their identity, detention followed by interrogation is the most effective option. Oh, you're even less flexible than a statue turned by the worst caster. Tuned, rather. I was wondering who this trap was for. Any Leithanien child off the street could have told you this wasn't a live performance. It's just like, fucking kids. Whoever said it must know you well. She knew you'd come after the sounds of a cello like a hungry tusk beast pouncing on a piece of meat, ignoring everything else. Giving her an opening to approach her real target. Loris Borden? That spineless gendarmerie commander? Why bring him up? Your assessment is correct. Ouch. Arturia lured me away. It is Loris Borden she wants. The M? It's me. Is Jan back yet? Okay, good. Tell him I'm very sorry about his sister. About Julia. I'm leaving Leithanien soon. The leads I've collected over the years are in my house in Bodenshof. Or is it Bodenshof? I don't know. The key's in the wallet I gave you. Give it to Jan. Hopefully, someone will take over the case after I'm gone. I've been pursuing it for so long now. I couldn't get a result, but maybe someone else can. This is a bigger commotion than the previous ones. Pim? I'm near Forest Park. There's a situation here. Get a team over. No. One team might not be enough. Get everyone you can. Yep, this is the second story node. Yeah, it's probably those masked shuriken. Maybe they set fire under the asses of a pack of gloom pincers in order to blow up the sewers. Let's just hope no unlucky bastard gets caught up in the mess. Music. Who's there? A Sanctor? Reverend Executor, is that you? Yes, totally, Federico. The events of the past should not cloud your judgment of the present. So, Shirk is villain. Okay. You could not save that girl named Julia, but you saved her brother, and you have a chance to save someone else. An illusion? No, just a memory. Oh, Pim. No, it's nothing. There's only me here. It's just that I was reminded of something. Yeah, the bastards are right below me. I'll leave the beacon here. Yeah, I know. It's dangerous, I'll keep my distance. Run away with your tail between your legs, Mynheer. Whatever courage you once had is ancient history. The first soldier to set foot in the Witch King's spire. Do you really think you're still that same hero? Get out of my head, you asshole. No, I wasn't talking to you, Pim. Time to move. I'm gonna hang up. So we're basically seeing what that cello does. Because I'm very much assuming that it's the music, or the arts in the music, that does that. I know better than anyone that I'm a coward. I couldn't find out how Julia died. I couldn't even take revenge for her. Julia. What would you say if you saw me now? You're always so warm and gentle. Maybe you wouldn't let your disappointment show. Oh, there he is. Don't hang your head, Younger. Hey there, old man. Now it's your turn to pop out of my memories, huh? Oh, is that supposed to be the... Okay, that's supposed to be the other one. They just used the same sprite as him, which was a bit confusing. You're not too quick on the uptake, but you've got guts. Not many could look a picture of the Witch King in the eye, let alone step on one. I was just an unlucky bastard who happened to walk by. Was it really worth losing your life over someone like me? At least they're both Liberi. True. Don't feel like you owe me anything. Did you really think I was going to die in bed? After working for the Witch King for so many years? Letting you go just helped me sleep at night for once. There we go. For the last few days of my life. Same goes for you, Younger. If you feel guilty, then try saving a few more lives before you go. Oh, I so feel like this is Artoria doing all this. The Liberi limps away and disappears into the shadow beneath the sun. It's a long one, like the one the Spire casts all those years ago. Cast, rather. Many lives faded into those shadows, with not a soul to gaze upon them. It was how things were, and how they still are. The cello music fades away. Yep, there it is. Only the tremors beneath his feet remain. He knows they are the sounds of innocent souls struggling for life. He could stay put. He could leave Leithanien like he left Laterano. All he'd need to do is turn around and leave, like he's done for decades now. So much easier than leading the charge, no? I'm tired, old man. I want to live, not just that, but to drink freshly brewed beer every day, to listen to jazz with Pim and the boys after work, and to take a trip to Sammy next summer. Ah yes, this is pretty much as close to the I'm retiring speech as you could possibly get. Well, she is doing it, but reading her operator file tells you that she has no control over what people actually see. Oh no, I know she doesn't actually cast full-blown illusions, but I know her, or at least I've assumed, I don't know if it ever outright said it, but I've always assumed that her magic plays on your emotion, because it's always been the case that everywhere she goes, bad shit happens, but it's always the choice of the people that do the bad shit or have the bad shit happen to them. Like, it's always their active choice, but I feel like she does this to make them choose, regardless of where it goes. So if he ends up choosing to go and leave, then sure. But but that's the thing, like, I think she does it so that people make their final decision, or like on whatever topic it is they're considering. I couldn't die a hero like you did. But why? Why? Why am I disappointed? Oh, don't you dare play this music, you bastard. You're tired, young Grath. Apathy eats away at you. If you continue to use your arts, only death awaits. And are you afraid of that? I fear only what we must do to stop you. My head hurts. We do not wish to harm you. But the concert master says that the melody within you is more valuable than your mind. We will put you to sleep for a while, if need be. You want to wipe my mind? I won't let... Who's there? A Liberi? In a gendarmerie uniform? Just one? Trying to be a hero, are you? I love that sound, because it always sounds like someone was igniting a lightsaber. Go, my men are on their way. He hears the stranger say to him. Danke. Don't let him get away. Ebenholz knows he will not get another chance. Blood drips down from the corner of his mouth. His head is splitting. The battle behind him continues. He wants to see the face of his hero, but the tiny silhouette is quickly engulfed in light from arts and explosions. It sounds like Myrtle activating her skill. Oh yeah, it definitely sounds like quite a few of the skill activations, but I don't know, there's just something about it that just makes me think of like a lightsaber igniting. All he can do is run. He keeps running. He knows not where this path leads, nor the effort it will take to escape his predestined end. And I ran so far away. Okay, that wasn't too bad. That was only 30 minutes.
We're fighting you guys. Then please do your best this job, or I'll be really bored.
Yeah. Remember, this is just the before. Yeah. I love the BGM though. Yeah, it is really nice. I still really like the oh, I forgot what it's called. Is it a quartet? No. Oh no, what's it called when they that harmonizing. I forgot what it called it now.
I'll take the lead. The rest is up to you guys.
Barbershop, there we go. Oh, the quartet, yeah. But I really like that they've gone with that. I'm not really sure what the inspiration for that was, or if they just decided that that was the theme they were going to use, but it it was quite interesting. You know, I hope Eben goes to the place where Kreider died because I want to know how the place looks after he explodes. Yeah. What am I doing? I could do this.
Now's the time to help everyone out.
There we go. Nice. And now for another 30 minutes of cutscene. At the same time, sometimes I think, like, I mean, I could just react to the story, but it's not like most of these stages take more than a single try. Don't your eyes get tired staring at a book for so long? I'm used to it. In my tournament days, I read that as torment days, my schedule was always packed. Time to myself was precious, so I often spent entire nights reading. Don't feel pressured. You've only just returned to Leithanien. Yeah, and look what happened within that time. Even in Kazimierz, I never forgot where my home was. Over there, they called me the Knight from Leithanien. My Leithanien guests often discussed poetry and music from home with me, and praised me for being a paragon of the light of Leithanien elegance. They're not wrong. Yet I spent most of my life away from this country. Other than the language and the books I've read, how much do I know about this land? Is there a pointy dome up ahead? What's the colour of the tip? There we go. White, adorned with orange. It's my favourite flower shop. I can smell the flowers, but I wouldn't know if they painted it a different colour. I envy you. You have a brand new chance to appreciate this city, this country. If you finish the story first, you don't run the risk of not completing the event before it finishes. Yeah, I know. I most likely will. I most likely will go through the stages. What I might end up doing is I might leave the boss stage for the stream, but then that's about it. So basically I'll be able to go through the rest of it. That's probably what I'll end up doing. Unlike me, who's never had the opportunity to see Zwillingstürme with my own eyes. Your eyes. My sight died with the Witch King 23 years ago. That's the last time I saw the city. Unlike me, You have a chance to see the beauty of the present and a future that should be better. Hello, this is Drost. What did you say? Sorry, I heard you. I just couldn't believe what I heard. Who is it? It was Gendarmerie, who was a Candle Knight fan. I asked him to follow up on the art gallery incident. Neither of us thought it would be a simple case. But what I didn't expect was the fact that this guy basically just fought Voldemort. I don't know. Yep, there it is. See, it was obvious he was going to die because they played Sacrifice. That and obviously all of the flags. Loris Borden, confirmed dead. Cause of death is originium arts trauma from at least 5 different sources. Direct cause of death is believed to be suffocation caused by the rib cage penetrating the lungs. Next step is to destroy the statue and retrieve the body. Oh, they statuified him. The statue is believed to have been created by an extremely rare form of matter reconstruction arts, and appears to be highly resistant to damage. Wait up, you're too fast. What the hell are you doing? Loris Borden was a citizen of Laterano. Well, not anymore, he ain't. Pretty sure he got rid of that. Tutorial Hall regulations dictate that I examine his body to ascertain whether he left behind an executable will. So you'll shoot the whole crime scene to pieces? I am quite accurate. My calculations indicate only a 27% chance that destroying the statue without damaging the body will cause a collapse. You can't. Explain. First of all, the Gendarmerie has the area surrounded. They heard the gunshots and will be here in 3 minutes. When they do, they'll see you, a Sanctor, pointing a gun at the mutilated body of their commander. I'll be quick. I said first of all. More importantly, there's no way you can retrieve Borden's body intact. His flesh is a part of the statue now. They're completely inseparable. Like I said, got statuified. Not even with your arts? You didn't seriously think a kid like me could undo the Witch King's arts, did you? Over here. It took them less than 2 minutes. You should have mentioned your second point first. If there is excessive difficulty in completing the objective, then I will delay the retrieval of Loris Borden's body. My bad, I didn't think there could possibly be anyone harder to communicate with than her. Put down your weapon, turn around. We're surrounded. I'll count to 10, then we'll make a run for it. Your name? Name? Is that Mika or Micha? I'm gonna assume Mika because I don't think they do ch sounds. Mika Wolf. It'd be funny if it turned out they're a fox. That'd be funny. Wait, now's not the time for introductions, is it? You're attempting to persuade me to violate the laws of Leithanien. I must reassess the logic of continuing to work with you. We share a common goal. I want to find Arturia too. Is that enough? Very well. But this is an international matter. His Holiness would want me to... The culprit won't wait for the diplomatic process to finish. What is the count at now? 10. Let's just say 10. Go! Nighttime! Daytime! Nighttime! Frau Drost. What's the situation, Pim? The suspects fled the scene, a small looper with unusual arts and the gun-wielding Sanctor. It must be the same one who broke into the art gallery. A Sanctor and a looper? Is that the crime scene? I wouldn't advise heading into the sewers, mind damn. It's not a sight for the faint of heart. Boy, she did blood sports for however many years. Funnily enough, she probably has seen worse than a person turned into a twisted statue. Thanks, Rana Lupo. Arrest Penguin Logistics. Herr Borden's footprints stretch from the entrance to this area. The centre of Virginia marks. There was a big fight here. A statue in the shape of the Witch King's twisted horns. Not at all how the books describe them. Wait, is that Herr Borden's face in the middle of the statue? How could they be so cruel? Knew it. Hopefully, at the very least, seeing that will make him think twice, but probably won't, seeing as he went here anyway. Who's there? I know you're there. Show yourself. Don't worry, I'm neither gendarmerie nor secret police. I'm just mourning for Herr Borden, like you. Did you know him? Only in passing. When we first met, he reminded me of how many people I've worked with in Kazmierz. People who once dreamt of big dreams, with a burning passion. But it's a rare soul that never wavers, always shining bright like a lighthouse. Most are like Herr Borden or myself. Which makes me all the more curious. What made him decide to face such a dangerous foe by himself? And why him? Why kill such an ordinary man? One already resigned to his own mediocrity. But he wasn't an ordinary man. There he is, yep. Well, I hope you realise now, kids, just what the kinds of people you're listening to are. If only the people in the real world would see it. He was a hero. He came here to save lives. Do you need a handkerchief? Sorry, I'm so stupid. I'm the one who got him killed. I guess to be fair, that isn't true, but eh. Told me to run, so I ran, but I should have known they wouldn't let him live. Who exactly are they? I'm not so sure myself. All I know is that they all wear masks and call themselves the echoes of Herkumstorn. That is really difficult to say as an S and not a sh. The name of the Witch King. I've read that his followers believe that using his name grants them his wisdom and insight, even after his death. Not just a legend. Didn't you see the statue they made from Loris's flesh? They're punishing traitors in his name. They said that the soul of the traitor will lead them to the lost Genesis horn. The statue in the park comes alive. It stands up, swinging its stone instrument like an executioner's axe, bringing it down on the people below. Did we just step into a D&D module here? Look out! That was close. Did something crush the statue? It's so dark. It's nothing. Just never speak that name to anyone ever again. Could the legends really be true? Is it true that His Majesty really isn't dead? And that we still live under his gaze? Try to forget everything you saw and heard these past few days, other than Her Borden's sacrifice. As an Empress's voice, I promise you that his death will not fade into silence. Follow the light. My candle will protect you. The lost Genesis horn. I've heard rumours. Before he jumped from his spire following his liege's death, the Witch King's concertmaster claimed that Herkunft's horn, that Genesis horn, still stands somewhere on this land. They really are treating the Witch King like Voldemort. Yeah, they sort of did it in the previous event as well. At first, their majesties believed this to refer to the spire of the Witch King, but that spire had long since been toppled. Indeed, their majesties destroyed every brick and tile that could have contained the Witch King's arts, and recombined them to form the bones and blood of the twin empresses' spires. The remnants believe that the spire still exists then. Or maybe it's not the spire at all. In Leithanien, a spire is simply a symbol of one's prowess in arts. If your theory is correct, then there's some kind of ritual behind these deaths. Then they must be looking for the final secret the Witch King left in this realm. Death of the Witch King. The theme of Frau Siemens' final painting. Such a fucking child, Jesus. The Witch King's remnants do not pick their victims at random. Perhaps the secret they're looking for has something to do with her painting. Their Majesty's casters have examined all the artwork in the museum and found nothing of note. Perhaps she left other clues in the creation process. Frau Lovenstein, please proceed to Frau Siemens' residence. I'll meet you there. You're going to walk the streets just like that? Don't you know that the Gendarmerie are looking for you? It is more efficient to find Arturia before they catch up. You don't even care how big of a mess you make, do you? Just don't leave the cleanup to me. You said we shared a common goal. I suppose. And you said that Arturia lured you away to target that officer. But why? Why give him a chance to fight back if she just wanted him dead? Is murder not enough for her? Does she enjoy watching people die in pain? No, she takes no joy in hurting others. Are you sure about that? She's hanging out with the Witch King's remnants. Why would you expect her to have basic morals? Define morals. Huh? If morals are a set of behavioural rules that ensures social order, then yes, Arturia is certainly a dangerous criminal with no regard for morality. However, if they represent the impetus and capacity to understand and respect the emotions and experiences of another, then I have never met an individual with more morals than her. That's not moral though, that's empathy. What you just described. Get to the point. Arturia did not intend to kill Loris Borden. That statue was an affront to life. She would have deemed it unbearably ugly. What's the commotion this time? Have those ignorant peasants come to cause trouble again? Why do we give the Gendarmerie so many favours if they can't even do their jobs? Well, probably because you keep giving them so many favours to avoid your crimes. Get me on the line with Borden. What did you say? Borden's dead? Oh. Music stops. I knew the Gendarmerie were trash. This cello. Not too bad. It sounds like the one from a few days ago. No doubt this culturally rich alley has drawn the attention of a famous musician. Wings and a halo. My goodness, it's a sancta from Laterano. I dread for the future of our dear Leithanien. This piece is dedicated to the return of the hero, Loris Bordin. The tune of the cello echoes through the alley. The moment the hero of days past rediscovered his courage, his suppressed love and hatred, regret and determination, hope and despair, all are revealed by its melody. It is the sound of mourning, of remembrance, of praise. The life that should have faded is brought back, more brilliant than ever, brighter than the morning sun, brighter than the blooming flowers. Frau Siemens' belongings have been sorted and laid out upstairs. Frau Lovenstein, are you crying? I think I'm seeing memories. Are the marigolds in the alley blooming? Yes, this was her favourite season. She used to lean by the window, painting the passerby. Yes, I remember. I loved her paintings. My memories of them have never faded in colour. Those golden days, when we all lived with hope for the future. But before you know it, it's all in the past. Take me to Frida's room, Anna. Hello. You're back, Frau Drost. Of all the nobles I've met, I've never known a more avid reader. Wasn't it the Spirecasters that went with Arturia at the end of the Laterano event? I would like to access the library at the top floor. The top floor? The forbidden section. Ah yes, we've got Voldemort, and now we have the forbidden part of the library. I need to review the records of the forbidden research conducted by the Witch King's remnants in recent years. Yes, it was Spirecaster who invited her in the name of the Kurfürst. Yeah. I was just wondering, because it would be kind of funny if Arturia is there actually on Leithanien's behalf, even though she's seen around the Witch King's ilk. That might be an issue. I can get Her Majesty's permission immediately if necessary. There's no need for that. Naturally, the forbidden section is open to an Empress's voice. However, I'm afraid that all the documents were removed this morning. How convenient. May I ask who did it? A Spirecaster on Her Majesty's orders, as far as I know. But it was Her Majesty who gave me her blessing to come here. As you well know, there is more than one woman who bears that title. Maybe I'm not too far off in my theory there. Hello there. I hope you're ready. I won't tolerate any interruptions to the plan. Who is that chuckle fuck? I can't even see his face and he already looks like a right dunce. Seriously, he looks like a righteous prick and I can't even see what his face looks like yet. There's just something about that the way he holds his chest like that. For a second I think that was Kashi. It does kind of a bit. I kind of see what you mean there. Has that same sort of arrogant look. Almost there. I just need these experiment notes. You Leithanians have such awful hobbies. Okay, so this is not someone from Leithanien. It's such a bother trying to sift something useful from all this chaff. Gertrude Stroller, why mention that name, was simply a convenient woman to set up to take the fall. Her talents were mediocre. Did you involve every noble in this? Even the ones who had secret dealings with the Victorian dukes last time? Everyone I could find. A familiar tone. No wonder they fear you so much, Your Majesty. Do you know what they call you behind closed doors? The next Witch King. I have to say, your similar taste in wardrobe does you no favours either. That very much is kind of giving me the vibe. I was kind of wondering that. I have never denied what Herkumshorn's intelligence, skill, and strength meant to Leithanien. In fact, that's exactly what we need right now. The Kurfürsten wouldn't like the sound of that at all. It's not the title of Witch King that they fear. What they fear is Lizelette and I walking Herkumshorn's old path and encroaching on their power and interests. You remind me of old Leopard, or Leopold. When the two of you were born, he asked me what the life expectancy of children born in the Eldritch Arts was. And your answer? I said, I can't give you a precise answer, Your Excellency. What does that word mean? I forgot what the B looking letter stands for. What sound was it? Oh, it's S. It's double S, isn't it? The Grosserzog or something. The Grossherzog. That's right, because Grosser Kurfürst is... Yeah, anyway. But I'm sure they will outlive you. I doubt he was happy to hear that. Was I wrong? He wanted to see the fall of the Herkumshorn, but forgot to take his own age into account. Leopold participated in the Battle of the Four Emperors, and led the revolution that overthrew the Witch King. He was undoubtedly a hero of Leithanien. Heroes can be greedy too. Greed can be forgiven, as long as they stand for a unified Leithanien. Otherwise, the greed must be parted from their positions, or their heads from their necks. Ruling with an iron fist, I see. But what does... Oh god, what was it? Evignad? Okay. Think about that. What does Lizelette think about that? Lizelette does not approve of my methods. She whispers in my ear that such radical measures only create more opposition. Humph. She thinks herself a gentle mother. Your words would sting her. Grimach, my Harsh-Kaiserin, rather. I don't know why I just read that word and automatically assumed German. My Harsh-Kaiserin, it is so unsettling to see such sentimentality on your face. Lizelette truly loves Leithanien and its people. As such, she is destined to stand in my way. Good. Now there's the dark, brooding look I know and love. Did you want to convince me that you'll be able to see it through when the time comes? Many scholars believe that those born from arts like us are born without a soul. No, your hair's black. They say the same of you. They believe that we are all of the same kind. What is he then? I wonder what race he is then for them to say that. Maybe Sarkaz, I guess? Hello, Les. I can't think of what type of people, unless it may not be race, but maybe the other sort of arts that he does or something, I don't know. Oh, for our lack of souls, or for our cruelty? Help me one more time, Fremont. Or Fremon? Is he Gaul? We must find the Witch King's legacy. Damn it, didn't show a face. I remember expecting his face to be somewhat clown-like. Well, not like clown as in like the makeup, but like, you know, the jester sort of wide smile kind of thing. I don't know why. I think there's just something about that sort of very poncy look of his that kind of screams that stereotype. Indistinct voice. Someone calling to me? Was it you? Where's the one who saved my life? Dead. Sorry. Once again, I've let the courage of another go to waste. Water? You poured water on my face? Drink. You're mistaken if you think I'm simply... What was that going to be? Oh, cooperating. Okay. I kept reading that as Cooper, like a name. It took me a moment to realise what the word was going to be. You're mistaken if you think I'll simply cooperate... Ugh. If you won't drink, I'll have to take other measures. Is this medicine? Or some novel form of torture, Herr Executioner? Dying is easy, especially for the frail, infected noble. But you have but you have only one chance to do it. There we go. Before you die, think carefully about how you really want to make your curtain call.
Everybody good? We've got another battle waiting for us. Pump yourselves up. We're gonna crush this mission together.
Alright, not bad. We're making good time. 1 hour. We might even get 3 of these stages done. Reminds me of Swire pouring water on Jen's face. Yeah. Oh, that's when they came back to Rhode Island after the fight, wasn't it? If I remember correctly. Oh wait, hang on. So, etude, or etude, I don't know. Encounter. Wait, have these all been... Okay, so these are part segments of an opera? Or an orchestra, at least. Yeah, segments of an opera, I'm guessing. Let me see. I don't know if this one does. Yeah, prelude, chorale, chorus, I'm guessing. As in, like, the chorus of a beginning of a play. Overture, etude, or I don't know how that's it. Yeah, so this must be, like, segments of a opera story. The most famous black key, I still don't know how you say it. Etude? I don't know. However, performing it is extremely difficult, the melody often seeming like it's tripping over itself. Why are goats and Arknights so attractive? You do sort of have a point, not gonna lie. Hey, let's have a look at this map. I'm liking this event so far. They only have very simple, you know, entrances and exits. I must say, I do like Kirito's design. Fun but easy. Yeah, which to be fair, I don't mind compared to some of the previous ones I've had to do. The sounds I heard when I passed out. Etude is a short practical piece designed to provide practice for mastering a particular musical skill. Oh, okay. So maybe my theory of it being pieces of an opera is wrong then. It's just I know of prelude and I know of chorale and I know of overture, but I just thought it might have been the same sort of thing. It was you, sharpening your sword. It got some dirt on it on the way back. It had better be sharp enough. My neck is sturdier than you might think. That's not for you to decide. Are we on top of a spire? I'm not going to let you jump off if that's what you mean. As I said, there are no second chances. It almost sounds like you want me to live. It doesn't matter what I want, it's my responsibility. You also have your own responsibilities, don't you? You return to Leithanien. Don't run away again like a child. It's a musical instrument introduction to a ballet. Yeah, okay, interesting. I guess that explains Overture 1812, I think? The one with the cannons by Tchaikovsky. Perhaps your employer forgot to mention this, but Graf Utica is dead. But the Utica Grafschaft... I still find that such a funny word. I'm sorry to everyone in Germany, but just Grafschaft just sounds so funny. It still exists. You're still the last of House Utica. But I never wanted... Running away doesn't make problems disappear. No one can choose their birth. In that sense, we're all the same. Is that what you tell yourself to justify serving as an executioner for that evil old fart? That one you had no choice but to become his follower? Oh, that you had no chance but become his follower. 9. It's how I remind myself what it took to gain the freedom I have now. What? Using the name Utica, the one you call an evil old fart, changed my family's destiny. Everything I do today is to protect the hard-earned freedom of myself and many like me. You're thanking the Witch King? I'm just stating a fact. A fact, huh? What about the fact that he spilled so much blood? What about the fact that his remnants have claimed so many innocent victims? Did you think you could ignore all the pain he inflicted on others just because of some convenient fact? The Witch King is dead. Let the historians, politicians, and everyone else with too much time on their hands judge his deeds. I'm a warrior. My only concern is the battle in front of me, and the battle to come. If he truly left anything behind, then whether his legacy is good or bad isn't up to him anymore. It's up to those who make use of it. As his heir, that's how you should be thinking. How you dare look at me like that? Your wounds are going to open up. I don't need sympathy from a remnant of the Witch King. Graf, not another word. Ebenholz. Which of us do you think really isn't brave enough to face the facts of the Witch King? That'll do, Lessing. Welcome back. There he is. Hey, you know what? I was fucking right. He does look like some messed up jester. Okay. Like, he basically looks like the jester you see on playing cards, like that sort of messed up looking face. Are the arts ready? Arts? Hopefully what's in your head will come in useful, Lamb of Utica. Kind of reminds me of Jafar from Aladdin? Yeah, sort of, I suppose. Now let me see it. The melody is surprisingly intact, considering Leithanians know nothing of souls. Who are you? What are you? Are you Sarkaz? Or are you like a Pith or Pythia or whatever they're called? I'm sort of on the opinion of sarcasm just because of what they talked about them saying they have no souls or something. Sometimes I wonder if these people meticulously recorded even what Hexenkonig mumbled in his sleep. I almost miss those metaphors of his when he used to curse out his tutor. You knew the old fart? Who are you? I don't see Tails, so probably a vampire sarcasm. Yeah, he does kind of give me a vampire king kind of thing, like the actual vampire king. He almost has that same sort of air about him as well, with his pose and that. Old fart? Is that how you talk about the elders of your own family? I thought you Leithanians were all about etiquette and manners. Well, that's the one thing you have in common with him, I suppose. That face. His eyes look like they're about to go out of his socket. I have nothing in common with him. Stop screaming. Are you a 3-month-old baby? Crying any louder won't make anyone listen. Also, his eyes are so bloodshot. Have they been, like, smoking 5 mounts of weed? Like 5 blunts before he walked in? Why don't you do something useful with your mouth? Careful where you're going to take this next. I could teach you some vocal arts that can be cast with your tongue alone. Right. I'm just going to move on from that. I'm not taking lessons from a minion of the Witch King. A ball of arts? Was that what hit you the last time, Lessing? I was careless. How many times do I have to tell you? You need to do more than swing your sword around. Train your art's perception. I hope you never tell anyone I raised you, you stupid sheep. I never have. As for you, I suppose it's noteworthy that you can manage that without an arts unit. But your manipulation of energy couldn't be more clumsy. Are you trying to blow yourself up? Who taught you to use your legions like that? The imbeciles in the spire? It was all the Witch Kings. Fools. They learned from Hexenkonig's madness, but without a sliver of his skills. That's better, my little lamb. It's best that you stay put, for everyone's safety. Check the defensive enchantment, Lessing. Professor Hoffman is on his way. You should wait until he arrives. We need to get this over with quickly, before we draw the attention of the Empress's voice. And the Gesatzvater. Fine, Gerhard won't be of much help, but it's not the worst thing for him to learn a lesson or two. The Genesis Horn. How long has it been? Ah! I actually put in the H there without realising. Carl Schmidt Street. Schmidt Werben Jägermann. Sorry, I don't know why that came into my head when I saw Carl Schmidt. And that place again. It's just an old street where a bunch of failed artists make their homes. I've already investigated it more than a few times. There we go. Jeez! I couldn't get through that. Loris Borden received a phone call before his death. It was from an old baron by the name of Lucas, who lives on Carl Schmidt Street. Apparently, he's called for the gendarmerie many times because of noise in the streets. The old nobles are all like that, overreacting to the smallest things. They think they can order the people down here around like servants, even though they've been kicked out of their spires. Hasn't that happened somewhere else in Arknights? Like, people don't have... like the power they have anymore, but they still talk to others as if they do. I feel like I've seen that somewhere. Or am I thinking of another... I might be thinking of another story. What I mean is, I wouldn't take it too seriously. Loris Borden's actions indicate the likelihood of a plausible lead there. Trump? Well, yes, but I meant in this game. Were you even listening? Just because he went there doesn't mean he thought it was worth investigating. He may have been the commander of the Gendarmerie, but he was also a physiograph, and a houseless outsider at that. 20-year-old honor made him little more than a glorified servant for the great nobles of the place like Zwillingstürme. He answered the Baron's call, not because it was a useful lead, but because he had to. This information has little relevance to the objective. It just sounds like coke to me. Hey, don't just go, at least wait up. That shop. Frau Schultz's fine hats. I don't usually wear hats because of my halo. Let's go in. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, mein Dame. I suppose it's Dame or something, isn't it? Or do they just say Dame? Oh, hello! Oh, by your appearance, I take it you're a local. You could say that. I wonder how long it's going to take her for the cogs to turn and think, Sancta, Lupo. Sancta, Lupo. Do you know how I can get to Carl Schmidt Street? Oh, she hasn't seen... Okay. I'm sorry, I'm new around here. I don't suppose young nobles like yourself leave their spies very often. I'll ask someone else. No need. Just follow this street until the fourth statue, then make a left. You'll see it in the distance. See what in the distance? Oh, you didn't know? Carl Schmidt Street is also known as Marigold Alley. Marigold... It's where the great composer Carl Schmidt once lived. He wrote some famous pieces about marigolds under the sun, making the alley a kind of holy ground for arts lovers. Interesting. I've never read about that. A little anecdote, the kind you hear all over Zwillingstürme. Hardly even a story. Well, danke. For the directions and the story. Incidentally, you're not old enough to be buying a graduation cap, are you? Oh, I'm waiting for someone. Oh? If we happen to be heading to the same place, would you like to come with me? Thank you for the offer. But the music of the Kaiserinnen will guide me. Very well. May the melody of Zwillingstürme be ever long and winding, not wielding, like the rivers and the clouds. You can come out now. I know he wouldn't have, but I think it would have been very funny if he came out with a hat anyway. I know he would have. It would have been so out of character. Like, someone would have had to have forced him to try one on or something, but... I think I'd have probably lost it if he did. Explain your actions. That was an Empress's voice who just passed by. She seemed decent enough, but unfortunately we're not walking the same path. Imagine that was not on his head, but on top of the halo. You know, he would be awkward enough that he wouldn't necessarily know how to put on the hat. You're a little later than we agreed on, Viviana. I met a remarkable young man on the streets. And now I'm sure we're not the only ones looking into this case. Damn, she read him like a book. She read that boy like a picture book. You sound a little... You sound? You sound a little sad about that. Yeah, the spy was practically a child. And... You stopped. What's the matter? I'm listening. The music of the Kaiserinnen is still playing. Zwillingstürme still bathes in their wonderful melody. But can a melody played by divergent wills remain in harmony forever? Hello. Yeah, but it buffered for a moment. The OBS went off. Okay, we're back. Alright. How much was missed? Because I only just saw the notification. Uh, 5 seconds around. Okay, so basically just this line. Fine, you want to know if I'm in league with the people who killed Loris Borden? Absolutely not. I'm a Lupo, which I would hope is obvious. I was born near Syracusa. In the early years of the Witch King's reign, and not long after Syracusa broke away from Leithanien, I feel about that. How do you think he and his followers treated my people? I was inquiring about you personally, not the history of your family. Is there a difference? I had assumed that you made your own choices about your own choices of your own free will. Free will? Not in my family. I was born to carry out destiny. Just like the lady who recently became the Empress's voice. She went from Leithanien to Kazimierz, and from Kazimierz back to Leithanien. Was any of that her own choice? I am inferring that it's complicated. This will make it difficult to discern friend from foe. Why do you think they call Laterano paradise? Stop. What's the matter? Carl Schmidt Street is just ahead. The Empress's voice went there. Maybe Borden really did find something. The alley has changed from before. It's too quiet. I was about to say, jazz music did stop. Well, it wasn't jazz music, but you get what I mean. Are these pieces all by Frau Seaman? Fucking child, Jesus. Ja, mein Dame. All drafts of der Tod des Hexenkonigs. Nope. Thank you, Microsoft. I don't know why you need to do that right now. I didn't dare touch them, nor did I understand them. So I left them where they were. What about everything else from the past few years? Windows Remains wants to be activated. Windows is activated, I promise. This computer came with Windows. It's just the random, protector thing. The past few years, there's not much to show. She often said that her passion ended that autumn, 23 years ago. Would you like to peruse her earlier works? If you don't mind. Frau Seaman's early works are categorized by refined touches and bright, lively colours. Frida Seaman wanted to capture authentic emotions with her brush. She had an excellent memory and made good use of her Virginia marks to recreate snapshots, not snapshots, which is a completely different thing and actually wouldn't be too bad right about now. Anyway, in time. She was still young when I saw her in the Witch King's Spire for the first time. She had an almost Minoan liveliness to her. We need We need a story in Minos. Less of the stiffness of your average Leithanien noblewoman. Her easygoing nature attracted people from all walks of life. Frida's friends used to hold poetry gatherings here in this alley. Your parents were among them. My parents? They came here too. Did they never tell you? This is where they met. Your father wasn't a Kurfürst-in-waiting quite yet. He came from Sturmland to Einwald, and often participated in gatherings of young people in Marigold Alley. One day, a young woman of common stock mustered the courage to read a little poem she wrote at Frau Siemens' poetry gathering. And that was my mother. She never told me any of this. Her brow's always been furrowed for as far back as I can remember. A woman of common stock. Unfortunately, that is actually a valid term. Obviously outdated by our standards, but what it means is as in from common background, so common bloodline. But you would also say about noble as well. You would say from noble stock as well. It's not unique to being a commoner. It's just basically a way of saying of this bloodline, of this bloodline, of this bloodline. Yeah, I get that, but oh, I think the phrasing issue kind of went over my head there. Lucinda Drost was a shy, gentle girl with soft, gleaming eyes. Gazing upon her was like sitting by the lakeside in summer, with a gentle breeze brushing by. Werner fell in love at first sight, almost missing His Majesty's summons. Oof. If Brandt hadn't covered for him, he would have been part of a statue in front of the spire by the time House Hochberg soldiers arrived at Einwald. This was still during the reign of the Witch King. Hard to believe, isn't it? But that era was resplendent in its own way, much like the painting before you. A resplendent marigold. This painting looks familiar. I think I've seen it before. But where? Viana. I'm sorry, but I need to take this painting away. Your mother is gone. I'll have someone clear out the room. I couldn't possibly leave you here with no one to take care of you. Someone will be here to take you away soon. Don't cry. You'll meet new friends out there. There'll be people who love you, even without Mutti and Vati. You'll see the marigolds with your own eyes. See for me if they're blooming, like in the painting. A flower chasing the sun. The clouds above Sturmland rarely clear up. It was cold and wet up in the spire. Further tried... Oh, buffering again. Why? OBS, don't do this to me. Is Steam downloading something? No, Steam is not downloading something. Why? Why is it doing this? Okay. But here in this tiny Zwillingstürme alley, they're everywhere. It's warm. Where are you going, Viviana? An enemy? Viviana! The music is faint, almost imperceptible. There we go. Okay, this is becoming a bit annoying now. If it keeps doing it, I'm going to have to... Wait, stream died? No, it hasn't died. Don't say that. It's still live on my end. Third time in a row, yeah. If it keeps happening, I'm going to have to stop after this stage. It seems distant, but also nearby. It transcends time, transcends memory, linking them in the same space. You're going back. Ernst's condition deteriorated rapidly. Even the best healers the twins could find couldn't save his life. Which means you could be the new Kurfürst of Stormland. When I first came here, I thought I was going to be a poet. What about Lucinda? I certainly hope she'll come with me, but I won't force her. She's talented. She could become a great partner under Frau Siemens' tutelage. Yeah, if I remember correct. No, I think the university or whatever it was that they did the research for volcanic research was also in Leithanien, wasn't it? Wasn't it just that they travelled the world? You love her, and she loves you. Which is why I can't lie to her. I'm no longer the carefree youngest son of the Hochbergs. Or Hochberg, I don't know. From this day forth, my life belongs to Sturmland and to House Hochberg, not to myself. The nobles will have a whole gaggle of young ladies lined up, all vying to be my wife. I wouldn't be able to promise her anything, even if she was willing to come. Oh well. If we lose a power struggle, she could end her days as a handmaiden in our spire. Then along came the commoner woman, who's just like, nothing will change then. His Majesty, the Witch King, is dead. The spire that towered over Leithanien has fallen. Our days of being slaves to fate were expected to be left in the past. At the very least, we now know that the name of our fate isn't the Witch King. Just give it one last try, won't you? Either take her with you, or stay here for her. Just like the night when the Witch King fell, I pray that the kind and gentle will have their happy ending. The music grows clearer. Unlike the performance of the statues, this music is alive. Like a kindly hand, it pulls her forward, down the stairs, away from the wind and rain. It is close, almost there, down the stairs, and the sunlight is waiting outside. Oh, that's who it is. The car is here. Lucinda is not here. I must find her. Everyone is waiting for you. The Witch King is dead. Your men must return to their lands in accordance with our agreements with the twins. You must leave the city before noon. The armies of the other Kurfürsten are watching your every move. Sturmland, 9, the fate of Leithanien falls on your shoulders. When did you become such a stranger, Brandt? I can't imagine Brandt wearing all that armour, to be honest. You always wear that helmet. I can't... Oh no, Brandt is the one that wears all the armour. Who am I thinking of that, that's the spy, because his name also starts with B. I don't know. I can't see your eyes. Sometimes I can't even tell if it's you speaking or another Gesatzwatcher. Beagler, there we go. That's why I always get the two confused, because, I mean, I know it's not the same spelling or anything, but it's just the fact they both start with B, and that's what I latch onto. Because it makes no difference whether it's me or another Gesatzwatcher. Leithanien cannot afford another civil war. Sturmland needs a Kurfürst who the people can get behind. Or will get behind, rather. You're not here to protect me, are you? Just like you didn't protect Ernst or Father that night. Do you remember, Werner? When I was selected for Gesatzwatcher training, I came to you and Ernst and told you I wanted to stay. Who was Ernst? Is that Werner's brother or something? I get the feeling it's... When he says Ernst and Father, I'm assuming... I don't know. Yeah. You grew up with us and swore fealty to the House Hochberg. You didn't want to go back on your vow. Yes, was his brother. Okay. But you told me you're defending something far more important in any person's life. More important than House Hochberg. I never forgot that. Not even for a moment. The Brandt is quite old now. Alright then. Is fate truly so impossible to resist, Brandt? He's still kicking, he's still being a thingy person. And this guy's dead, if I remember correctly. Yeah, it's Viviana's father, I think, we're looking through the eyes of, so... So, Mans is doing well for his age, I guess. No, don't go. Don't give up hope. At least, not so easily. Ooh. Cora was there too. Yes, but... I assumed... Actually, I don't know. I just always assumed that she would have been a kid. The Witch King fell 23 years ago. Viviana is... I can't remember how old, but like around 23-ish or older, something like that. The other woman, Cora, she looks a bit older, but not like that much older. I don't know though. Although the way she spoke actually does kind of imply that she saw them get together with her own eyes. So either she was a kid or like a young adult, maybe a young woman, maybe in their 20s at the time, so she might be 40 now. Anyway, the young Kurfürst turns around and leaves, but Viviana does not want to follow. She tries her hardest to go back. A golden glow. What's she doing here? Always fills the alley in autumn. Her mother must be somewhere there, simply unable to make it in time. She runs, she searches. Marigolds bloom under the sun, just like the hopes her parents once had for the future. Oh, and gone. She wants to grab hold of her mother, to grab a hold of her father's silhouette from the memory. As though she could change something if she did. Change the tragedy that was her father's life, and change her own. We haven't reached the battle yet, have we? Year after year, the golden flowers take in the city's joy, anger and sorrow, remaining as bright as ever in bloom. But some blooming hopes were left behind forever 23 years ago. Why? Why couldn't I grab it? Is fate truly so impossible to resist? Viviana, around you! Viviana looks up in a trance. The music stops. The melody seems to freeze in place, then becomes rushing energy. Like dark clouds, the arts tear the sunlight apart and rush toward her. Ugh. No need to fear, I'm here with you. Cello. Mental arts. The music is awakening our memories of Werner. Mother, father. Over here, Viviana. I'll cover your ears with my hands. They're gone. I couldn't change anything. Don't listen to it. Whatever you're seeing is your imagination. In your imagination isn't happening in the present. The remnants of the Witch King are in this alley. They knew you were coming. We were coming, rather. There are too many of them. We can't deal with them all. We need to escape. Another sound emerges. It is like a melody but cannot be sung. It's like a bell, but continuous without pausing. It is a declaration that rings in the chambers of the heart. Like the brightest setting sun, radiant purple arcs shine through the clouds and fill the streets. The Lupo boy? This melody, or maybe not, no. The Gavath Watcher? Brand, is that you? Hey, it's Brand. Hello, old-timer. Take Werner's daughter inside. As for you, embers of evil, filthy dregs picked from the trash heap, how dare you defile Zwillingstürme? Oh, hey look, another regretful hero that's probably going to die now.
Let's go!
Who defunct it?
Oh, speaking of which, what was our objective again?
Ooh, someone that actually does range.
I'll take the lead. The rest is up to you guys.
Ooh, 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 ooh. There we go.
You'll have to try harder than that.
In hindsight, I probably should have put a medic there. Yeah, I'll do that.
Doctor, leave the signal. Who's next? You'll have to try harder than that.
They're quite strong. Nice.
Relax. It'll be over in an instant. Come on, Sherry Quasi Tesoro.
Now's the time to help everyone out.
Nice. Damn, that was very quick. And now for another 40 minutes of cutscene. Baron Peter Lucas turns 73 this year. He inherited his title from his uncle 3 years ago. Damn, it wasn't around that long then. Well, that did say 70, didn't it? Yeah. 6 months later, he moved to Carl Schmidt Street due to the expenses of maintaining the Lucas family spire. Yeah, Gummy's Russian voice is quite good. I like all the Russian voices, to be fair. He inherited his title from... Oh yeah, I read a bit. He enjoys Carl Schmitt's music, but hates the street. He finds the sunlight, the flowers, the youth's graffiti, and the jazz music coming from the nearby bar unbearable. He orders his servants to close the curtains, turns on the gramophone, and the room is immediately filled with the sounds of a cello. The Sanctor was a truly talented musician, he thinks. So talented, he could almost forgive her for being Lateran. He plays 11 instruments, 10 of which he learned during the reign of the Witch King. To send the best melodies to the Genesis Spire, there we go, Jesus, talented young musicians were put into a room and made to compose day and night. He loved the violinist, her delicate fingers and the beauty marks on the edge of her palm. Tears flowed down his face when he visited Victoria for the first time and heard music from his homeland on the stage of the Royal Theatre. He kissed her for the first time. That was his elegant, dignified Leithanien. He misses it. Trying to destroy houses and escape in the chaos. There is nowhere for you to hide before the golden melody. You're the last. Remove your mask and surrender to Leithanien, and you will be spared the pain of a burning soul. The pain is insignificant. Have you ever heard the Witch King's Reichsorchester play? That is Reich, isn't it? I think so. The black forests of Einwald, the lakes and ports of Fortsgard, the storms of Sturmland. Anything you can imagine about Leithanien you could feel in the melody. Reichsorchester. How did I not see that? Reichsorchester. Oh, I can't even say orchestra now. There we go. Oh, it's right there. Wow. For some reason, I just could not read the one bit of the word I actually do know. The Witch King did not interpret or conduct, he simply walked amongst them. No, literally, I literally read it as Reichsorchester. I think because I was also looking at all of the other, like, place names, that I then saw Chester, and thought that it was, you know, like a place name like the others. Yeah, I know that it is. I just didn't see the orchestra in the word. As one of his musicians, you had to follow the guidance of his sightline and keep a tight pace with him. Fall out of line and you were ripped apart by the magnificent melody. The Witch King's favourite punishment for those too weak to serve him. But I kept up. I became a part of that transcendent melody. Since then, I could no longer tolerate playing for the mediocre. What did you think you were? Interpreters of the great melody? Ideal-driven revolutionaries? 9. All I see are criminals hiding behind masks, killing the innocence of Leithanien and undermining her peace and order. Clowns, burying their faces in the embers of the Witch King. Your life belongs to the golden melody now. But I suppose you were already dead from the moment you gave up your free will and become the Witch King's vassal. Ah! And what about you then? Aren't you wearing a mask yourself? The arts you use, the golden melody, the light of Leithanien passed down through generations of Gesatzvater. Those who guard the golden Gesatz. Are you not also a servant of a melody written by a greater will? Even the greatest individual will is nothing before Leithanien herself. Then, is it Leithanien's golden melody that pronounces my death sentence, or you yourself? Is this your escape plan? Did you think the will of the Gazathvacha would waver before such cliches? Preposterous. Why would I need an escape plan? I was chosen to find you. The concertmaster wants to know when the events of 23 years ago echoed in your ears just now. Did you see Ernst von Hochberg, for whom you would never arrive in time? Or his brother Werner, who died in sorrow as the Kurfürst he never wanted to be? The Witch King cultist's body turns to dust under the power of dual originium arts. Her last words remain within the ashes. Rant Rainer, you cannot avoid a choice forever. On that day, 23 years ago, Father didn't wait for Mother. They missed each other. Lucinda went to the spice market before coming to the studio that morning. She wanted to try a different incense, see if it would lift her spirits. She did not know she was already with child. Mother went to Sturmland in the end. She loved you, and she loved Werner. She could not have raised you on her own if she'd stayed in Zwillingstürme. She knew that Werner had already gotten married, but she had no other choice. Father had a choice. 10 minutes. If Werner had waited another 10 minutes, he'd have met Lucinda and known that she was willing to face it all and fight by his side. He regretted those 10 minutes for the rest of his life. I know. He never told me, but I knew. A marigold and the moon. It was never meant to be. It was a dream that, upon waking, they knew to be beyond reach. Words spoken only to comfort. Don't you blame your father? I can't. We're too alike. You told me that he aspired to be a poet, but he never once recited a poem in front of me. It was only after I returned to Leithanien that I realised, when someone no longer has the strength to face reality, the illusions that once brought hope now bring only pain. Viana, you've been busy since your father's passing, shuttling from Sturmland to Zwillingstürme. All I want to say is, it's all right to express your sorrow. I just want to rest for a while. Just for a little while. Cora says no more. She closes the curtain before she leaves. The darkness wraps around Viana like a familiar blanket. Cora knows her well, knows what brings her comfort. She gazes upon the paintings in the room, now covered in shadow, and the golden times depicted within gaze back at her. Fortunately, the arts in that music didn't cause Viana any real damage, but they brought back memories of Werner, as they did for us, and it must be even more painful for her. You're injured. Am I? Oh, I am, rather. Oh, this wasn't from the battle. I might have bumped myself when I went downstairs chasing after Viana. Why not try the therapeutic medicine I brought back from Colombia? I didn't lose my eyesight yesterday, Brandt. I've managed on my own for the past 20-some years. You, though, something's off with your voice. Were these enemies that tough? What an absurd notion. That's more like you. I wish you'd take off your helmet and catch your breath once in a while. though. Even the finest instrument succumbs to wear and tear when used non-stop. I really hope he does take off the helmet, not gonna lie. He can't be the Mandalorian the whole time. I don't deserve to rest. The Gendarmerie is on their way. They'll take it from here. You should leave before they arrive. Now? But we're so close to the truth. Although I also get the feeling that we will see his face, but he's probably going to die or is dying when that happens. Leithanien has not fallen so far as to need to entrust her future to a blind instrument tuner and a retired competition knight. The cultists are looking for the Witch King's legacy. Frida and Loris were witnesses to that night. Werner, House Hochberg, was part of the coup as well. If they're killing witnesses to complete some sort of ritual, they'll be looking for their next target. Which is why you need to listen to me and stop your investigation. What about you, Brandt? You were there on the day of the coup too. I am a guardian of Leithanien's will. A few Witch King worshippers won't get me. Besides, they laid an ambush for you here. You're the ones they're targeting. The person literally told you that you were the one that they wanted. I don't know. But, oh no, was it the other way around? Did they tell her and then he came? Oh, I can't remember now. But how did they know we were coming? Could Viana really be right, and Frida's paintings hold an important clue? I believe so. Herr Reiner, please allow me to continue the investigation. I want to know what Frau Seaman left behind. You're holding the draft to her final work. Regret. The strongest emotion and desire that the painter had ever felt in her life. She spent her last days painting it over and over again. Through the strokes of her brush, she wanted to see the divine in her heart. You're saying those haphazard strokes were intentional? Yeah, it looks messy because she painted on the same sheet over and over again. The scene of the Witch King's death is still in the draft. Put the painting on the ground, Viana. Okay. Brandt, try to play it. Tell me when to stop. Uses an ocarina. It's vibrating, like a musical instrument. Oh, it's vibrating like an instrument, okay. Yeah. There are minute differences in each layer of paint. I can't see, but my arts allow me to hear the frequency of each layer. Almost there. Just remove the layer of paint above and we'll find the very first version. Do you see it? It's blurry, but I can tell that it's the interior of a spire. It's imposing. The Witch King's spire, I imagine that even Frida could only paint a small part of it. Can you identify the figures in the painting? There is no Witch King. The throne is empty. The battle seems to be over. The painter herself, Frida Seaman, is behind the curtain. There's a Liberi soldier charging in from the hallway. Loris Borden? And, who is this Caprine holding an arts unit and cleaning up? Gerhard Hoffmann. One of the most talented casters in all of Einwald. Formerly in service to House Urtica. He became a teacher after the Witch King's death. That guy. No, not that guy, never mind, ignore me. We were late. These lunatics don't care how many innocents they kill. You're injured. I can try to treat. I can treat your wounds. Danke. Where is Baron Lucas? Is he upstairs? The Baron didn't make it. He'd been talking about moving for a while. We wouldn't have got caught up in all this if we hadn't put the plans on hold just because of that Sancta cellist playing in the area. What did their performance sound like? Do you want to hear it? The Baron had me record it. I wonder if the gramophone's still alright. Huh. You actually found a clue. Loris Borden found it. Is it Arturia? Yes. I may not be able to recognise a live performance or not, but I would never mistake her playing. Aren't we in trouble then? No need to fear. There are no arts in the recording, and she isn't nearby. Someone broadcasted her performance on this street a few minutes ago. And her arts worked over such a large area. She must have accomplices. It would only be possible through a combination of Leithanien arts and her own. You can tell all that just from listening to this. This section here, it's not the sound of a cello. It's a pipe organ, and one of uncommon size. A huge pipe organ. It's an unusual instrument. Where might you find one in Zwillingstürme? Ludwig's Universität. A school? Yeah, it used to be the spire of learning for House Utica. His head hurts. He has not felt such pain since he escaped Visserheim. When was the last time it hurt so much that he wanted to scream, to vomit, to cry? Probably that time that Kryder was playing the cello for him. It was... He could remember. He just didn't want to. Oh hey, look, I was right. Say something. I'm giving up on you. Sorry. Gloat, why don't you? You're on the cusp of victory, after I've kept you trapped in my head for so long. When I die, I sure hope I get a proper death. Unlike you, who's been dead long enough to crumble to dust, only to be pieced back together and brought back to life. What is he babbling about? You haven't started the ritual yet, have you? Not yet, Professor. He looks like he's in pain. Can he really take it? He's from Herkunftshorn bloodline. If he can't take even this much, then Lizolet must have intentionally raised him to be useless. He's suffered much for his age. If he's unable to bear it, interrupting the performance of the voice of the mundane could cause the Genesis Horn to go out of control and affect all of Ludwig. I'm here. The spire will hold. But you swore an oath to Her Majesty that you would not reveal the true extent of your powers. She'd have to answer to the nobles if students learned of your identity. Ludwig's Universität may be shut down, which would affect your relocation plans. And Ermi will give you an earful when she gets back to Leithanien. Bah! Keeping this boy alive is harder than summoning the Genesis Horn. Where's his Lessing? He's standing watch outside. He said he'll ensure that no one can enter before the ritual is complete. Nothing more than keeping his mind from being torn to pieces. Where is the device I made for those nutjobs in Bolivar? Are you alright? It's okay. They left the room. You're not the person who I thought when I saw those eyes. We met not long ago. Hey! Yay, I remember you. You weren't the person I originally thought of when I saw all of the stuff, but you're the person in the forest or in the park or whatever. Yeah, no. In the forest or park. Forest. Park. Yeah, I wanted to warn you, but Lessing was there. I couldn't take you away with him watching. I just realised we saw a student wearing red, and now we've seen a student wearing yellow. We've basically got We've basically got Gryffindor and Hufflepuff already. Pretty boy? Yeah, kinda. Lessing. He's not evil by nature, but he can be stubborn. I used to be like him too, but all it takes to change is courage. Yeah. Can you move? Try to grab my hand. What are you doing, Gerhard? I'm sorry, Professor. I can't let you use Hexenkonig's bloodline like this. He's a living, breathing soul, one with a bright future. Spatial arts. Spatial defense arts, rather. I taught you those! You also taught me that even the most powerful arts cannot erase regret. I've caused a lot of harm with the arts you taught me. But when I'm alone at night, I often ask myself, how many souls would have continued to shine brightly had I not done what I did? Would we be living in better times? Would the people around us have been better? Would we be better ourselves? That's why I gave up on being a spirecaster and became a scholar. What are you babbling about, Gerhard? Gerhard? Is it Gerhard or Gerhard? I don't know. You're making a big mistake. Step away from the boy. A mistake? 9, Professor. I'm saving this life. I'm not going to miss my chance this time. I'm fixing the biggest mistake that we ever made. And then he casts Misty Step. Which counts as a free turn, I think, if you're a rogue. Or is it wizard? I can't quite remember which one is a free turn. But I used to abuse the shit out of that being a free turn for me. Okay. Unfortunately, I'm going to leave it here because while I haven't had any dip in connection since the 3rd time, my bitrate has been jumping up and down by about 2,000, so it looks like it keeps trying. Misty Step uses a bonus action, still leaves you with a regular action and reaction. Yes, that's right. And yeah, I used to abuse the hell out of it. I was almost always... Well, I didn't abuse it because obviously you use it as intended, but still, it was just so useful. But yeah, so I'm going to leave it here, which is not ideal. I wanted to do at least a 3rd, but I'm a bit concerned that I might drop connection for good now. Because it does keep dropping in bitrate. I'm not sure how it appears on stream, if I keep getting a bit more pixelated or not, but it's a bit meh. So I'm gonna leave it here and I'll continue. The next time I stream, which might even be tomorrow to be honest, I'll have to have a look. I'll do I'll already have the stages done and I'll just go through the story, just to be a little bit quicker. Not that it's that much quicker really, I'm only like it's what, a minute in between storylines, but still. I'll have more time tomorrow as well anyway. So I'll see. It's been fine so far. Okay, that's good. It's just I keep dropping by like about 1,000 on when I look at my bit rate, so I'm a bit concerned. I'll leave it now anyway. I'll pick up again either tomorrow or Sunday. I'm not sure which one yet, but I'll continue and I'll go through it. I've still got a week, haven't I? Or is it still 2 weeks? I think it's a week. No, it's a week because it's 10 days. So I've got plenty of time still, and I'll do the stages except for the boss stage, and I'll do the boss stage on the stream when I get to it. That's probably the idea that I'll do. And I've also got to make sure I keep up with the side missions as well. You know, the investigations and that. But yeah, so I'm going to leave it here. A little bit of a shorter stream than normal, but it's fine. But even still, though, thanks so much for hanging around. I'm honestly really liking the story. I think it's really interesting. I think it's quite fun learning about the Witch King. He who shall not be named, apparently. It's definitely quite an interesting one. And I like how it kind of connects two different events. Like, you've got the Laterano event and you've got the previous Leithanien event. And they sort of both interlink, which normally doesn't. Normally when you see events, it's just following one storyline, whereas this one sort of has two storylines converging in onto this event with the previous one, because you had Arturia going to Leithanien, and then you had, you know, Kryder and all that. So that one I found kind of interesting. So it sort of moved two plot points into an event, which I don't think I've seen. Because I think all of the other ones that I've played so far just follow one series of events. Unless I've missed something. I might have missed something. I haven't played all the events, I don't think. But still, I'm going to leave it here, and I'll pick up either tomorrow or Sunday. I'll let you guys know beforehand. But until then, thank you guys so much for hanging around, and I shall see you all next time. Bye-bye.